Hello, my name is Dale and welcome to the Talking Sticks Show. So this week I am joined by myself as I am going to share my journey and talk about the importance of balance and sharing our own truths and our own wisdom. So my journey started in 2012 where I had an experience. I was visited by ancestors and they were showing me messages from the spirit world about my path and about my understanding and where I am going forward. At the time I was partying, I was doing all sorts of drugs, so on and so forth. I then decided to go see an angelic Reiki healer and I got some healing done from a lady called Jeanette. And from that process, I was able to figure things out within myself and understand that I am a spiritual being. I have different needs. I felt that I went through life as a younger kid so different, waiting to find a teacher, waiting for someone to really help me understand this energy I had and this ways I wanted to explore. I didn't like being at school. I didn't like the format school was and learning about things I wasn't happy with. So when I did the angelic Reiki, that was it for me. It was kind of like a past life DNA memory opening up, and I was able to then find a place to do meditation, find a place to do training, so on and so forth. So going back to the 2012 journey, I was taking drugs and everything back then, and I was slowly coming to start the healing path more and more. So I was doing it for 10 months, 2 years, and going back into drugs for 3 months, and so on and so forth. And it was a karmic cycle which was happening with myself. It was a part of myself, my shadow, which was really coming out into play. So for me to overcome that shadow and overcome the self-addiction, it was truth. It was truth to myself and truth to the world. I was trying to hide a part of myself from me and the rest of the world. And it felt like I really needed to be honest with myself, honest with the world and the universe. And from when I decided to be honest, things started changing. I started doing more healing for myself. So in 2012, 2013, 14, I started doing meditations in groups. So it was kind of, I jumped into the deep end of teaching, and my own self stuff kind of got put on the shelf for a little bit. So 2016, it was all coming up again. And it was a big process of me going through this healing journey, becoming a father, having more responsibility and still feeling like a kid, still feeling like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So spirituality and learning Reiki, learning ceremony, learning about the Native American traditions, learning hypnotherapy really helped me navigate and become more grounded as I grew older and older. So we all have those shadow sides of ourselves, and that part of myself, the addiction played on for years and years, and it started, and now it's come to the point where I'm open and honest, and I'm happy. I am honored to be who I am. I am honored for my mistakes because they have made me better. They have made me who I am today. I don't regret anything I have done because they were all experiences and they were all ways for me to grow. We all have this blame, shame, and guilt when it comes to making mistakes, but the true reality is if we can learn from mistakes, own them, and be truthful and move forward, then this is a process we call letting go, process of called dying and the death and the rebirth at all times. So I did lots of Reiki teaching, lots of healing, had some meditation ceremonies done, and it got to the point where I started doing the gut work. I started figuring out I had a lot of unforgiveness resolving with my father or my family. So I had to go through the gut cleanse, do some colonics, and really go deep into those areas which I was kind of not being in touch with. So we all have those traumas which are inside of us. So if our body is about 80% water, if you think about it, when you say negative things to water, the water kind of, the molecules turn not very in balance. And when you say positive into water, the molecules and everything change into universal shapes, messages, and so on and so forth. So it was a big process for me learning about the trauma and knowing that it was stuck deep inside of me. And when I did my set of colonics on the 4th, 5th, I got some really deep pain and a lot of unforgiveness and a lot of unresolved in my gut area. So that was a big process for me. I then went through, got back onto doing some drugs again, came off that until I got to the point of being truthful, where I held my hands up and I'm a human, I make mistakes, and I have no control over this at the moment, but I'm praying for the universe to help me. So from that truthfulness of myself to others, my life changed. I felt so much more balanced in the way I was. I felt much more grounded because I was being truthful. So it's been a journey for me of trials, tribulations, the up, the downs, and in betweens. I've learned a lot from it, and I do believe I'm here to help people from what I've experienced through addiction, through all sorts of trauma, and overcome, to be able to heal, to be able to be manifested, to be able to feel good again. I suffered from depression for a good few numbers of years at some point, and it was a real calling for me to find something which filled me with happiness and filled me with love. There's so many people out there who can't find something which makes them happy. And at the end of the day, we all are spiritual beings. We all can relate liking music or liking watching something. We all have this like about us where some things we resonate with. And that's feeling, that's spirituality. So going through that process, there was a thing I did called the flotation tanks, which are really, really good. The sound deprivation, which really helped me. So that was a half a ton of salt, and I laid down for about an hour, and it removed a lot of stress from my body, a lot of cravings. So if anybody wants to kind of get over something, the flotation tanks are very good at that. The amount of magnesium and the amount of energy gets drawn out of you, or the toxic energy, and your gallbladder gets alkaline, so on and so forth. So I'd really recommend doing the float tanks, and it expanded my spiritual awareness and my clairvoyance, clairsentience, so on and so forth. It was very, very, very powerful for me. So looking back and finding how other ways I found balance was through personal ceremony, was through having a fire, and through understanding my ancestors. Everyone has ancestral relations in their DNA who are guiding them and helping them in this present moment. It's just the way of how everything is set up on the earth at the moment. So when we connect to our ancestors, we can ask for protection, we can ask for guidance. It's only us who can drop the zone of distrust, the zone of doubt, and actually speak to the ancestral relations, speak to the elders, speak to the other beings in other realities, so on and so forth. A lot of people think you're crazy, but not at all. People have been doing this since the dawn of time. People have been connecting to the elders, the ancestors, their homelands, so on and so forth. So ceremony really helped me understand myself. Talking to the fire, telling the fire my own story, my own words, really helped me balance out myself, balance out so many different issues I had. And going through that rites of passage, going through that moment in time where you reflect on your true self, you understand the shadowy side, and you love yourself completely. You forgive yourself, you connect to the wind, you talk to the directions, you talk to the earth, and you tell the earth what you want. You say your prayers. Ceremony has really helped me overcome a lot of stuff, and really helped me go into a flow and a direction of clarity. And understanding we all make mistakes. We're human beings at the end of the day. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has a shadow. If you don't have a shadow, you're lying to yourself. Every single human being has a shadow side to themselves, which we need to look at with loving eyes and forgiveness. So other ways I find of balancing myself is drumming as well, and using some sort of rattle. So the tools, the shamanic tools we use, are to connect us to the heartbeat of Gaia, to connect us to the heartbeat of the Earth Mother. And when we go through the process of connecting to the heartbeat of the Earth Mother, we go into the natural rhythm and the natural way of life. So for all of those who are distracted by Facebook, distracted by computers, pick up a drum, pick up a rattle, and go out, protect yourself, sage your area, and connect to the earth. Start dancing, start being a spiritual warrior who we are, the peacekeeper and the peacemaker. Have that embedded into your spirit and your mind when you're doing it, knowing that you are a peacekeeper. We are the peacemakers to make our future generations flow and understand the ways of our elders and our previous generations, their trials and tribulations, their mistakes and their fortunes, ups, downs, and in-betweens. So it's been a hell of a journey, and today I'm living in York currently at the moment. I've got events set up in the future. I've got a Shaman's Death event in York, which is shamanic drumming as well. We do a Dream Warrior event at Thornborough Henge, which is really good to have a ceremony there. I've got some Reiki training coming up in York, and for me, I am living proof that spirituality does work. I've come from some nasty, nasty habits, some nasty, nasty depressions, and I've overcome it through spirituality, through self-nurturing. So another way to balance is nurturing ourselves each day, understanding healing isn't just an event, it's a process at all times. So many people come to me for a quick fix and they think they can have one psychic surgery session and they're all done, they're all polished and ready to go on. The psychic surgery and the stuff I do is a part of the journey and a part of the process of a little piece of puzzle, which we have to keep doing each and every day, each and every year we live and we pass on, so on and so forth. It's understanding this self-nurturing is so important. To do the self-nurturing work, to have the salt baths, to do the meditations, to do the ceremonies, to do colonics, to do detox, do play with the drum, play with the rattle, go out for a walk, so on and so forth. These are things to nurture ourselves. These are things to bring us back to the connection of our spirituality, not to keep us distracted. At times it is important to be distracted, to let go of spirituality for a short period of time, to go and experience 3D things like games, so on and so forth. Those help me in a way as well to completely switch off from spirituality, because we do need to switch off at times. So understanding this is all about balance, having the family life, having your personal life, your spiritual life, your 3D life, so on and so forth, everything balanced. If we have one thing out of alignment, our whole life can go into levels of karma instead of dharma. So understanding karma and understanding cycles we all go through as well is very important. Look at your year, start journaling yourself and look back 2 years ago and still see if you're doing the same things over and over and over again. And there's just a cycle or a repetition going on and on. It's important for us to see the infinite potential of ourselves and always seeing the infinite and not just seeing ourselves limited by our own expectations. Understanding the universal song is infinite. The universe is infinite. We have an infinite number of ways to go back to the source, an infinite number of ways to heal. So many people get stuck because they don't know what to do and they think they've done everything else. That's just their own self blocking themselves from feeling themselves truly, really connecting to the ground, connecting to the ancestors and being grounded, because grounded here is important as well. A lot of people are away with the fairies and very ungrounded, and at times that's great, but we have to be grounded to the earth. We have to be grounded in our heart. We have to be grounded to feel the earth and to be here with the planet in the space. When we are ungrounded, we are not with the earth. And a lot of people think telepathical and communication, so on and so forth, it's all up here, but it isn't. It starts with the heart space, the heart center. And when your heart's connected to the earth like the torus, a flow coming within you, through you, with your connection to the earth as well. This is how we are meant to be in the natural world. We live on the Gaia Sophia, the Earth Mother. We are meant to be in this natural flow cycle. So for all of those who feel ungrounded, start having some reflexology, start having salt baths and really foot baths, and start really feeling your energy go down. Bare feet, obviously, going out for 20 minutes at a time for a walk every few days and really feeling the earth. How does the earth feel? Instead of feeling up here, around here, feel down, feel below, and feel within. So understanding that grounding is so important. For me, it's helped me release a lot of anxiety. We all suffer from anxiety at times. That's just the nature of this world at the moment. It's helped me release a lot of anxiety, a lot of doubt, a lot of fear. So always going back to the principles when you wake up. What can I do today to make this space sacred? What can I do today to wake up and heal and change and be someone infinite and someone and leave this past self who I don't want to be anymore. Let go and die. Dying and rebirthing is so important. It's called a process called the Shaman's death. The Native Americans have been using it since the dawn of time, and their ancestors, elders, so on and so forth. It's a part of yourself which has to die in every moment, and with each rising sun, we die and we are reborn again in the morning with the sun rising and falling, rising and falling, but it's still always there. But we still go through this cyclical process of dying and rebirth at all times. So I wanted to do this podcast today to give you inspiration, and for all of those still listening, to feel my words and feel my heart connecting with my words, to give you inspiration to go out and do the great work. I'm running session offers at the moment on psychic surgery, past life regression. So if anybody wants any sessions at all, just let me know. and take a look at my Facebook, Dale Tobin, the Healing Path. I've got a lot of events on there at the moment coming up. So thank you so much for watching. I feel that's what I really wanted to talk about today. And I really appreciate everyone's feedback and support of the show. So next week we have some special guests on. So I look forward to sharing the space with you. And if you like what you hear, then please subscribe. And I look forward to sharing sacred space with you. Aho. Thank you for joining. Thank you.